Hello, good afternoon.
And welcome to another another episode of Hearns Live.
Episode 152.
152, how cool is that? Got a bit of a new set today,
It's pretty special, isn't it?
haven't we?
Bit of heritage in that.
Bit of heritage in that, and there's a bit of future history gone up in the window now.
That's right. So new legacy's going up.
The new legacy's going up. That should be hopefully finished tomorrow morning. But yeah, there's a bit of the old girl that was in the front window for 30 plus years.
I would think so.
Yeah, is now on the set. So welcome everybody, and we've got a special guest in today. He's going to be awesome. Looking forward to learning a lot.
Absolutely.
That cat.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really cool. Who have we got on today?
We've got a lot of people on today.
Already?
Yeah.
Well, it must be our special guest. He's bloody got them all
must be.
whipped up into a frenzy.
Craig Jones is on. Mark Christensen. I don't know if I've had Mark on before.
That's fantastic.
Matty Jenkins.
Matty Jenkins.
Yes. We've got the Jeff.
On you, Jeffy.
Tony P is saying hello.
Yep.
And what else we got? And Anthony's back.
Anthony is
back. He's already got
He's already taken stabs at the car of the week.
That's right.
Which brings us to the next point.
What is it?
The car of the week.
That's right. What do we need to know?
We need to know the colour.
Yep.
The make.
Yep.
The model. The year. And the weight.
And the weight. The weight seems to be quite a
that
popular
just seems
segment,
to be that seems to be the most popular point. Yeah.
It's really showing off its gloss there, isn't it?
Gorgeous. It is an absolutely gorgeous model. Is
Yep.
your phone ringing?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
No.
So it's Nan. Nan, stop it. Anyway, what have we got?
What do we got? Oh, Mark, he's just saying he's new from Darwin.
Oh, that's
welcome
fantastic. Welcome in, mate. Welcome in. Well, without further ado, I think we'll get our special guest on.
For sure.
Get him to bring his wares
Yes.
and show us what he's all about.
Alrighty.
Travis Hunt, in you come, buddy.
All right.
Hello.
Welcome in.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you. Yes.
Welcome, mate. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It is,
stuff.
isn't it? It's pretty cool. It's good to have you in. I
Yeah.
know that we get to obviously speak to you and contact you a lot about your racing, and we get to see it on Facebook and stuff. So tell us, where do you race? What do you race?
Wow. So, I mean, we're talking about drag racing, radio control car drag racing.
Yes.
We have, where do we race? Wherever we can find a spot that's quiet with no police to bother us.
Do police bother you?
No.
Oh.
No. But that kind of harks into the different styles of racing that we do.
Yes.
Right.
Bit outlandish, eh?
Look, we do get the odd security guard bothering us, but we're respectful. Sorry, we'll move on, or the security guard will sit down and ask us how we can get involved.
Yep.
But anyway, so we do RC car drag racing. We fall into generally there's two types that we consider. One is a track-based system with a foam tire car. Anyone here may have seen the Top Fuel car these guys had maybe a year ago or so.
Yeah, Tommy bought his in.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, that's your more traditional prep style cars where you're running on a surface that has been prepared, been made sticky.
Right.
And then, which is the traditional, there are clubs racing those in Australia in the 90s. Right.
Yep.
And then in the last sort of 5 years or so, since the popularity of a TV show called Street Outlaws, we've seen a really big increase in what we consider no prep drag racing.
Right, okay.
And no prep drag racing is rubber tires. It all started by converting short course trucks across to drag racing cars.
Yep.
So J Concepts brought a body out, probably I think late, maybe 2011, 2012. They brought out a Fox body, and then they converted a Slash. And then, hey presto, we had the first no prep style drag racing car.
Okay.
Yep.
And then it all, is kind of taken from there. Right now, there's a race happening in America. It's called King of the Streets.
Right.
The winner of that race will win around $20,000 US.
Wow.
Was that a lady last year? Was that a?
So it happens every year, does it?
Yeah.
Was
So
that a lady?
look, in America, there's every 2 months there's a $20,000 race.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So who you're thinking of is Frank Elbrick's wife, Lindsay May, I think her name is.
Right.
She won one of the big races. I can't remember specifically which one it was
Okay.
because there is a few different ones. But yeah, absolutely, women get involved, and some people say women have better reactions than men on the old trigger. So, proof's in the pudding, I guess.
So these big dollar events,
I
how
don't
do they
react
make
very
that?
well generally.
You know what?
I don't react very
Yeah,
well.
neither do I,
generally.
unfortunately.
So how do they come up with the pool? Is that from an entry fee?
You pay.
Right. So the entry fee goes into the pool, the prize pool.
So 250 odd people will enter the race.
Yep.
Okay. And from that 200, and it's it's knockout. So if you get one race and you lose, that's it. You paid your $100 US, right? And then
Okay.
about $5,000 goes towards running the event,
Yeah.
Right.
and then the $20,000 goes to the winner.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's evolved from there. So I think you do pay track fees and this sort of stuff, but that's generally how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And then some places will run a little bit different. So they might have a smaller pot. It might be $10,000. But still $100 to enter and that sort of thing, right? We're a bit far away from that over here in Australia. This is more fun for us.
We just want to run.
We just want to have a bit of fun with these cars. But there is the odd cash race. I know there's a guy called Stu who's actually is an Australian Queenslander, Stu Mack. He's in Vegas right now racing at King of the Streets with another guy, Teff.
Go, Stewie.
Go for the Aussies. Good luck, guys. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, good luck. And I know that he's got a big cash race happening in Brisbane.
Right.
Because Brisbane, believe it or not, have a purpose-built RC car drag racing track.
Do they?
Yeah, their association's called the QMDRA, I think.
I think some of Stu makes speed runs.
Yep.
Well, we're known for that as well.
He is. He's a good guy. He's very helpful as well. And so is Kev, the guy that with him. Kev's a New South Wales person. Stu is Queensland. They met because of their love of no prep drag racing, and they've gone over as kind of Team Australia to hopefully kick some Americans' butts.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we can do. I think you should move that car of the week out the way, B.
Because we're going to have a closer look at what we're
Let's
talking
have a-
about.
Which one do we want, mate?
Go for the Chevy.
This one?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at some machinery.
Right. So we've spoken about.
What are we working with?
So we've spoken about the different styles of drag racing. Today, we're just going to talk about no prep because this is something that you can walk into most hobby shops in Australia and you can buy a no prep drag racing car.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The three main ones that you're going to get ready to run, you'll get a DR10 from Associated, a Lossy 22S Camaro, and I think there's also a like a Ford F100. And then you can get a Traxxas Drag Slash as well. So they're the ones that you're going to be able to buy. Now, this here started life out as a DR10.
Yep.
I actually raced this car in a particular class that we have, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I like this because, as far as I'm concerned, it's a muscle car. This is there's a guy called Sean Ellington, otherwise known as Murder Nova, on the Street Outlaws show, and this is a style of car that he races in his style of events.
Yep.
Right. One thing you'll notice with this car, if you can see here, is we've got a full rear bumper.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Right, and a little wing on it. This is a Proline body, a Chevy Nova body.
Yeah.
Okay. So this style of car is a what we call a rear motor car. So anyone that's raced buggies will remember we used to have rear motor buggies.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I don't know when 2015 or something, we all switched over to mid motor buggies.
How about we could have a look at the top camera there?
All right, so this is the anatomy of a basic car. This particular car has obviously quite a few upgrades on it, one of them being a carbon fiber chassis.
Yep.
Now, a carbon fiber chassis isn't something that you really need to worry about for this style of car. I just happen to have one, so I put it on because it's better than being on a shelf.
Yep.
Comes with a tub style chassis. It's pretty straightforward, but everything else in this car is the same. So we've got factory front geometry, factory transmission and setup and everything like that.
So this transmission, this would be off like a
Stealth.
as a stealth type, is it?
That's what's a DR10 transmission.
Right. Okay.
So it's the same.
The 3 gear.
Yeah. So it's actually the same transmission that you would find in a B5M 3 gear
Yes.
or a B5.
Okay. Yep.
And do they have ball diffs or gear diffs?
Gear diffs.
Gear diffs, yeah. Fluid filled or just open?
No, fluid filled.
Fluid filled.
You ask two drag racers whether they like a thick oil or a thin oil, and you'll get two answers.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so this I obviously have quite a loose diff.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what my theory is.
Yep.
Right. So if we're drag racing.
Yep.
And I've got a lock diff.
Yes.
If one wheel loses power.
Yes.
That will then get driven.
That's right. Or it would
Okay.
change its direction.
Because that will stop providing traction in this wheel.
Yes.
Whereas the theory is if you have a loose diff,
Yes.
this will just spin and the car will go straight and it will go out of that low traction patch.
Yep.
All right. But other people have a theory which is if you get to there, that can start spinning. That spins so fast that the car diffs out.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this is spinning and this stops spinning and you lose all power and the car just
Yes.
flips over and crashes. So,
Yes.
you know, it's one of the that comes to the joy of these sorts of things, right? Which is working out how to do it yourself. What do you like? How does your car like? And that sort of thing.
Yeah. So tell us about just 2S, so
Yep.
7.4 volts.
Yep.
That's
Well,
the standard for these.
8.44 is the
Oh, yeah.
maximum voltage you're allowed.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep, it's the
2S.
standard 2S LiPo.
We run. I'll grab a LiPo out of the bag to
Yeah.
give you an idea.
Because they're like square bricks, I think. They're like shorties but tall.
Would you call me?
Shorty
So,
but tall. Oh, geez, look
Oh,
here.
they
we
are
go.
too.
Look at that.
so I've got two different packs here.
Yep.
These are drag racing specific packs.
Yep.
So this here is I'm going to say your entry level drag racing pack.
Yep.
Okay, so under $200.
Yep.
400C burst. It's quite a substantial pack.
Yep.
It's good. Fits in the car. And that's it.
You're
Right.
off.
Okay. And that's sort of all you need. Now this car has a Tekken RS Pro speed controller
Mhm.
and a Tekken 2-pole, I think like a 5-turn motor in it.
Yep.
It doesn't need anything particularly fancy in it. It's not designed to be the fastest car in the world.
Yep.
It's designed to run with the Nova body, to look badass, and be a fun car to run down the track.
So, in this class of racing, there's no restriction on the motor you can put in.
So the restrictions, it's got to be a 1/10 style. So
Right.
550 or 540.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can run a 550 motor. When we look at one of the other more up-spec cars, you'll see the 550 style motor.
Right.
This car with the, do you want to grab that Nova body for me?
Yep.
Just quickly, I'll show you this quickly. So this car with the Nova body,
Yep.
right, is what we run in what's called Pro Street, okay?
Yep.
So ignore the carbon fiber chassis because that's kind of just me being me.
Yep.
But this sort of car here is very similar to a car that you can buy, a DR10, a Lossy 22S, or
Yes.
a Traxxas, and then you can come and race this car. And you don't have to worry about getting wonked by fast guys,
Yeah. Okay.
right? But it gives you the ability in this class
Yes.
that you can upgrade your motor and speed controller and still stay in the same class
Yes.
until you're ready to get in with the big boys.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we'll talk about the other car before we talk about the main differences between the two. I think
Yep.
because it'll be easier once you've looked at both the cars to understand what we're talking about when we talk about the differences.
Yep.
But yeah, so this is a pretty it's what we call a dry tire car, and I'll explain what that means in a second.
Mhm.
Right. Let's get the orange car.
The orange car.
So the orange car is this is my multi-purpose car. This is my pocket knife.
Your
Okay?
pocket knife.
This is my pocket knife. So this car here can run in both classes. So I mentioned there are two classes.
Mhm.
Yep.
So the first class is what we call Pro Street.
Yep.
Pro Street. And the second class is called Outlaw. Okay. So this particular body here, it's not a carbon fiber wing. It's just a Perspex wing with a carbon fiber wrap, but it looks cool and it does the job.
Yep.
Carbon fiber stickers are just as good as the real thing.
Ah.
I've proven it. I've proven it.
Yep. And so
Just as cool.
All
So
right,
this-
we go for the top again.
Oh, I love the pink wire. That's
All right,
very,
so we
that's
can
very neat.
see it's got a fair bit difference.
So the big main difference between this car and the other car is we've got a mid-motor setup.
Okay.
All right. So everything's been moved forward.
Yep.
This car then goes above that level because we've got an aftermarket aluminium transmission
Yep.
in here as well.
Yep.
But again, that's sort of me being me. So I call this my pocket knife.
Yep.
Because the two classes are effectively a dry tire class
Yes.
and then a prep class.
Right.
Right. Now, when we're talking about no prep racing, we're only talking about not putting sticky stuff on the track. Okay.
Right.
We absolutely will put sticky stuff on our tires because it's the only way you can make cars go really fast.
Right.
Right. An example of something that we do like this is.
Yeah. What have we got? Oh, look how many props he's got.
Well, this is tacky, isn't it?
Well, you know why? They're sweeps, mate. Of course they're going to be tacky.
Okay, so we've got this.
Got
Right.
some goop.
It's a little bottle. It is goop, but it's a little bit different. So, the dry tire class, we will absolutely use tire additives, rubber additives, and things like that. Stuff that you guys will sell for your touring car
Yep.
races
Mm.
to make the rubber stickier.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. A really simple one for people to use before you come down here and buy something fancy
Yep.
is WD-40.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Trust me, guys. Spray WD-40 on a rag.
Yep.
Wipe it onto your tires of your DR10 or your Lossy 22S. Leave it for 5 minutes, and you'll be amazed at how much stickier your tires are.
Well, we used
Okay.
to use WD-40 in early touring car racing.
Yep. Well, I've got a friend who's a professional drag racer, and he said he'd go and spray his actual tires of his car with WD-40
Oh,
and just
right.
let it sit the night before, right?
Right.
Okay.
There
Did
you
it do
go.
anything? I don't know. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I used to use.
Yes.
So WD-40 is handy. It's not as effective as everything else, but it's something you'll probably got in your shed that you can try.
Yes.
So I highly recommend it. Now, so a good quality tire conditioner will make the tire nice and rubber, nice and sticky, I should say.
Yes.
In a dry tire capacity, that's where we stop with what we do to the tire.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're effectively doing is we're making the rubber on the tire work at its peak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. When we go, and so that's what we consider a dry tire. So it's a dry tire without a sticky additive.
Yes.
Right. The next step from there is called prep tire.
Yep.
Right. And that's where you have a product like this.
Yep.
Okay. Which, if you can see in the camera, it's so sticky that I can't get the lid open because it's empty.
Yep.
But
So this is like a glue, right?
Yeah.
oh, I got it open. Right. So,
The pressures of Hollywood.
look, we'll be able to put some on here.
Yeah.
And we'll just let that cure, and then you'll probably see how it works, right? So that's like a glue. It's what we call a non-curing glue.
Right.
So it doesn't. So it stays sticky when it's dry.
So it's a bit like a contact cement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a pressure sensitive adhesive, I think, is the
Okay.
official terminology. Very similar to something that you would use to hold down carpet tiles and rubber tiles.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
You may have also heard it referred to as VHT, which
Right.
they would use at a proper drag racing track.
Yep.
So I just put a little bit on here,
Yep.
right? And so it's not really doing anything at the moment because it hasn't cured off yet. But when it cures,
How long do you expect it? Do you cook it in normally, or you just let it do it naturally?
look, that's a great question. When it's about 20 degrees ambient,
Yep.
you just leave it.
Right.
Right. And so that's already starting
It's
to.
Well, I can see it's
Look
like
at it.
stringing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it didn't take long at all.
No. So it's designed to flash off very quickly.
Right.
So that's
Oh, wow.
very, very sticky.
Well, let me put it over here.
Bit of sticky icky. So Snoop would say.
Yeah. So
Oh, there you go. Look at that. You definitely.
And how long will that last? Like that's just one run.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we do a pass with that. So I like to do multiple coats. So I do one coat, let it flash off.
Yep.
Then do another coat,
Yep.
and then let it flash off.
Yep.
And then we'll do a pass. The thing with these cars, right? If you're having trouble trying to get your car down, what we call going down the line, so doing your pass, it's probably because you're not looking after your tires. If you think about it, the tires are the only thing that transfers all of this
Yes.
to the road.
Yep.
So clean your tires after every pass. If you're using prep,
Yep.
we use wax and grease remover from Bunnings.
Okay.
Right. Put some of that onto. I use makeup pads.
Right.
Right. You get the little cotton pads. I pour some onto there and I wipe my wheel. It
Well,
cleans.
like
it.
those little.
BJ's got plenty of them. It's just in pocket.
the cotton round ones.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Yep.
makeup
Oh, the
artists
boxes
and
are
stuff for it, yeah.
Yep. They're perfect. Right. But some people use a rag, or you can use whatever you like.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepping your tires, a really good tip is if you buy a doormat,
Right.
right, from say Bunnings or somewhere, $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some water down on the doormat
Right.
over the space where your wheels are,
Yeah.
and you just do a quick little burnout in the water.
Yeah.
Okay. When I say quick, we're not full power. We're just enough to bother the surface of the tire to agitate it, right?
Right.
And there's one step you can go above that, which is
What's the steps, huh?
what I do, which is simple green.
How good is Simple
so when
Green?
you're talking about a mat, does it matter what material the mat's made out of, or how aggressive it is?
It will matter depending on how you drive your tire. I just buy a cheap nylon mat
Yeah.
because I'm not really trying to melt anything.
Right.
Right. Because most people blow up their speed controllers and things
Yep.
doing burnouts.
Really?
On the
Yep.
mat.
Yeah. Or just anywhere. They'll try and do a big burnout.
Right.
And the force through that speed controller is too much and they
Right.
blow up.
Right.
Right.
You
So-
won't blow that speedy up.
No, I won't. I've actually I've had this for 4 meets now, and it's been going very, very well. But I was sponsored by another supplier
Yep.
For a while, and they were very good. Don't get me wrong,
Yep.
but generally when I blew a speed controller up, it was after doing a burnout. And you do the pass, and the car came back, it wouldn't work anymore.
Right.
So because it gets hot and it melts the solder, and then the solder will kind of it'll be shorting as it does the pass, and then
okay.
eventually it cooks the fats and so on, and away you go.
Right.
But I digress. So, in terms of tires,
Yep.
you know, the easiest way to make your car go fast is by cleaning your tires.
Okay, so clean on a mat with water
Yep.
or
Yeah.
Simple Green.
Simple Green.
Yep. So instead of putting water down on the mat,
Yep.
put the simple green down on the mat and do a
Right.
burnout in the
Yeah.
simple green.
Okay.
Right? That's just concentrated simple green and water in a Gatorade bottle.
So we're still on the overhead. So let's have a look. So this is a 550 motor.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's a little bit longer than the 540.
Yep.
We've also got some nice, decent gauge wire here.
Mhm.
10 gauge looks like.
Yep.
And then you've got that to an XT90 plug.
Yep.
Which is very familiar to a lot of people in RC.
Yep.
And then we've got the OE 1.2 speed controller in there.
Yep.
Which is 4S capable.
Yep.
Massive amounts. That's
Have
a new.
close look, eh?
That is a new offering from Orca. So it's really good. Travis got one of those from us to test out and to report back. Unfortunately, like you said, we haven't blown it up yet, which is a big thing for drag races.
Yeah.
So
Stuff blows up.
stuff does blow up. Like you said, it's really demanding on the electronics, even though it's only small passes. But when you're running cells like the one that you've shown me, that's a huge amount of capacity to pass current.
Well, to put this in perspective, this battery weighs half a kilo
Yeah,
or more.
absolutely.
Right. So yeah, that's the sort of thing. So these Orca speed controllers are wonderful. The smaller car we looked at, the first car, we had a 2-pole motor, okay, a 540.
Right.
So that's a high RPM style setup.
Yep.
Whereas this is a 4-pole. So whereas the other one might be say 9,000 kV, this is 6,500 kV.
Right.
But it provides a lot more torque and it's a lot more efficient.
Yep.
Right.
So we actually, whereas in the other car,
Yes.
I may have a 96 tooth spur and a 16 tooth pinion.
Mm-hmm.
In this, I have a 96 tooth spur and a 30 tooth pinion.
Right.
Yeah, massive gearing change.
Yeah, so we're going from an FDR of about 12, which is your final drive, down to in the 8s.
Right.
And you know the thing with this Orca is it will run a 4-pole and a 2-pole.
Yep.
So you can buy this one ESC, and you can run it with a straightforward 2-pole motor and your Pro.
Do you have to change the settings, or it just picks it up and goes? Did you have to change?
No, I didn't change any settings in terms of the pole count for the motor. The speed
Oh,
controller
okay.
worked it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And another thing I like with the Orca, you know, look, it's a plus or minus depending on how you look at it, but it's the ease in which you can program it.
Yep.
So you have a little box,
Yep.
and you have to use the box.
Yep.
So it's something that you always have with you, and you're used to using when you're on the track.
Yep.
The other ones, sometimes you have to use laptops or phones. You've got to connect things and that sort
Let's
of
go to the
stuff.
front one, Beach. Yep. So you said, like you said, you always got your program box with you, and that's how a lot of us race.
Yep.
In the other classes that we race.
Yeah, and you can make changes. You can add timing and that in these cars.
You run turbo and boost and all those
Absolutely.
sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of turbo and boost, generally, when you get up to the high end, the ultra fast stuff, you're running as much turbo and boost as the ESC will give you.
Yep.
Okay, and that's why things blow up.
Yeah.
Right. A way that we have to get around this. So, a huge problem we used to have was voltage sag.
Yep.
Okay, because we've got all of this, all these amps coming through. You know, sometimes 400 plus amps coming through this little speed controller, and then through a normal touring car battery, and then you know, like batteries just can't hold up. You're dropping down to sort of 5.5 volts from 8.
Yep.
Right. So these came out and these were good. You know, these got you from 5.5 to maybe 6.1, 6.2.
Yep.
And then these sorts of monsters came out.
Yep.
So
I mean, it's bigger, but it's not dramatically. That doesn't seem that much bigger. I mean, physically, it is bigger.
it's a
10
big heavy battery.
10,000 milliamp battery.
Yeah, 10,000 milliamps. So this is a 5P. What we worked out, when I say we worked out, is as you added cells in parallel, you reduce the amp load across those cells.
Right. Okay.
So a 2S4P battery like this, right, technically works the cells half as hard as a 2S2P battery.
Right.
Okay.
That's complicated. We can give people more in-depth look at that at another point if they want to know. But this is a 2S5P. So this has 5 cells in parallel, giving us so it's actually 10 cells. So it's got 5 pairs of cells to give us a better voltage drop. So as we add cells, we drop it down, but there is diminishing returns. So that's why you know, you don't really see people going over kind of 6Ps and that sort of stuff, right?
No.
Plus, also as you add cells in parallel, you add weight.
Yep.
And weight's a big deal for these cars. That's why this is all carbon fiber and so on.
Yeah.
So this is a simple prep style car. Again, this car works fine with a dry tire or a prep tire, which is good.
How fast does it go?
So This car will do a 1.8 second pass at about 80 miles an hour with prep tires, or about a 2.1 second pass at about 70 miles an hour with dry tires, so without the sticky prep on it. Okay? So it's pretty good. Now there's a car that's quite similar to this, but it's the kind of next step up, and it's in terms of complexity, I guess.
Is it here?
It is.
Oh,
it is.
let's get the next step.
I know. I thought
Oh, we got next step coming.
I'd give everybody a treat.
Right. What is this?
All right. Look at this.
So I've got Sorian. He's left a comment. He says hello.
Hi, Sorian.
He said to ask you where that chassis before came from.
Oh, that's a great question. Well, here's the same sort of chassis, but on steroids.
Right.
So, which camera are we on?
These
So
are
we
locally
can
produced
go.
ones.
Okay, so that's the front camera. Let's go to the top.
While I've got you, so this is good. So if you have a look at this body here,
Yep.
you'll see these little plastic braces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stiffness.
Yeah. So these stiffeners are great. If you can see this here, okay,
Yep.
that's where the tires are rubbing on the body.
Yeah.
And all of that sucks power,
Yes.
right? So it saps speed power because it's rubber, you know. And the reality is that you want to try and avoid that. So adding stiffeners and things makes a big difference to the body. Right. So this chassis is actually made by a company in Western Australia.
Is that unfair?
It's unfair for the people that race against it.
There you go.
It's an unfair RC.
I don't know if you guys can read that or not, but it's UFRC, Unfair RC Razor V2. So that's the name of the chassis.
How cool is that?
There you go.
So
I've
this,
got an unfair car stand somewhere.
Yeah, it's around.
Brenton made us a car stand, which is fantastic.
so the first car we looked at was a DR10.
Yep.
The next two cars are actually team associated B6 point star conversions.
Okay.
Okay. So this car is basically a team associated B6.2.
Yep.
Okay. With the gear ratios and all that sort of stuff, right? What we do in terms of a pro car is so we have a carbon chassis. This is a 4mm chassis. Obviously, we have a wheelie bar. We have a front bulkhead that is different. So we have these two aluminium pieces to create that bulkhead there.
I forgot to ask you before. So the servo is mounted in the center at this particular point.
Yep.
And it's sort of like a pan car
Mhm.
type of
Quad scale,
arrangement. Yeah. So the reason for doing this is direct linkage.
The reason for doing this, so there's a good reason. What do you think it might be?
Well, I suppose it has to be direct, no slop.
No, it's not that. Good guess, though.
Is it weight?
It is where you move the weight.
Right.
So this huge battery here,
Yes.
okay, if I put this here, or I put this here, okay, there is a significant difference to how this car can perform.
Right. Okay.
Now, this is a prep car. This car generally has to be prepped to work.
Right.
If I'm not prepping the tires, it doesn't generate enough grip in the way that it is. It's set up stiff, so it doesn't shift the weight in the way that the other cars do.
Yep.
All right. But that's because it's stable.
Yep.
Right. And you need to launch stability.
Yep.
So I want my weight as far forward as I can.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So that's why the servo is the other way.
So if you have a look at this,
Yep.
all right, as soon as I put my weight there,
Yes.
the car sags down and it
Yes.
sits on its bump stops basically.
Yes.
Okay. And so what that does is it gives me a little bit of weight shift here, which helps with your traction.
Yep.
Okay. But having this weight forward stops the front wheels coming off the ground.
Yep.
Inertia is a wonderful thing. So the cars want to keep going in the direction, things want to move in the direction they're moving in.
Yep.
So if your first motion is this, the car wants to keep doing that.
Right.
Okay. If your first motion is this, the car wants to keep going forward.
Right.
So being able to put the weight there versus if you had the servo where it was in its stock position,
Yes.
you could only put it there.
Okay.
Gives you a big help. And in terms of the dry tire cars where you're not using an artificial sticky to hold it to the ground, the further back you put your weight, the more weight you have over the rear tires.
Yes.
So the increase in traction as well.
So on the base of the chassis, I notice all these holes. Okay. So are these holes usually for mounting of the battery?
So
all these here?
when these were designed, there was a theory. They wanted to be able to move battery mounting points up and down.
Right. Okay.
Right. Problem is they're heavy. And they're actually unnecessary. In turn, when you're at this level, right, there's nothing on this car that doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
Okay. A little plastic thing to hold the battery. And plus, also, you look at the difference between these two batteries.
Yes.
Okay, they look similar, but they're not. And so they both won't fit on that same chassis. So what I do is I use a product. So these don't have to be there. These days, right?
So you've got this this Velcro looking stuff on it.
Yeah, it's this is NASA at its finest,
NASA.
right?
You have to get it from NASA.
No, but they invented it, right? Or it was invented for them.
Right.
And this is called dual lock.
Right.
So it's Velcro, but it's good in terms of Velcro normally has a male and a female, a hook and a loop.
Yep.
Whereas this, you just get one piece, and that one piece is the same, right? So you only get one roll. You don't have to worry about wasting one or the other. And this just goes on here.
Well, I heard you put it on before and it was clicking into place.
Yeah, but this is a lot bigger battery.
Right, okay.
There we go. Right.
So you can get it.
Now pick that up by the battery.
Oh, wow. From the front, you'll see it. That's
Right.
amazing. It's pretty aggressive, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's going to happen is the battery, the shrink wrap holding the battery on is going to fail before the adhesive goes.
Oh, okay.
So there's one thing that I normally do to
I need
these.
that in my life.
Where do you get it from?
My buggies need that. I'm going to put that in
I'm
my
going to
buggies.
send an email to NASA.
I buy it from eBay.
From where?
eBay.
From
Oh,
eBay.
eBay.
Yeah.
eBay from the NASA shop.
eBay.
Right. Now.
Hello. Got
Oh.
some bandages.
Right. Yes, we do.
What have we got here?
So
What's happened?
batteries like to be warm.
Like to be warm.
They like to be warm. Right. Now, I don't artificially heat batteries. I don't recommend anyone does that. But as you use this battery,
It's a fleecy for the battery.
Is it?
Yeah.
well, it does two things, right?
What does it do?
So that battery's there.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So
Don't tell
now,
me, don't tell me you tape it on
yeah, absolutely.
as well.
If you crash, this car will do 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
If that battery gets ejected,
Yep.
it will pull the speed control, rip all the wires out, and everything.
explode.
It's just exploding is one thing, but just ripping the poles out from the solder joints on the speed controller is not fun.
It's a bit ugly, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a great way to ruin a $400 speed controller, $300 speed controller. But this is good because this is the stuff that sticks to itself. So if we put that on here,
What is this? Is this a heat wrap or something?
it's
What is it, a bandage or what is it?
So
well,
this-
anyone
this
that
is
plays
a massive
sport would know what this is,
I've got no idea. I don't play sport.
right? Now, if I had scissors here, which I didn't bring with me, I could cut that, and that's stuck. So peel that off now. Right, it's stuck in place.
Oh, so it releases fairly easily.
Yep.
When you want to take it off.
Yep.
But
Cut
it's
that.
Careful, I'm not allowed shutting things.
that's facing me. All right.
Right, and
Okay, so that's on, right?
yeah, I buy this from Woolworths. It's $10 for a 10-meter roll. And
Oh, so
now that battery won't come off. And you can put more of this on, and it will help insulate the heat as well. I'm giving away all the secrets here, guys. You've got to be paying attention. All right? This battery at 35 degrees Celsius
Yeah.
is probably going to give you 20% more power than at 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And so, that's
More
why
power.
look, these things, this car, we use all the power I give it.
Well, there's always been that talk about batteries and all the chemical works better with some heat in it. Now, even earlier days, we used to warm up batteries and stuff. And there's battery warmers around, aren't there?
The theory is that it's crystalline. And as you heat it up, it becomes liquid.
Right.
And as it's liquid, you get free ions and electrons in solution,
Yes.
which
Yep.
makes it easier for it to transmit energy.
Right.
Now, heating up batteries is really dangerous, so I don't recommend anyone artificially heats up their batteries.
Yep.
But through using the battery,
Yep.
It's fine.
internal friction, resistance, and things will heat it up for you.
Even
And this,
charging, right?
Yep, and this will keep it warm.
Right.
So I have a little charger that's about this big.
Yep.
When I'm racing, I will
Yep.
charge the battery as it is, so it never comes out of the car.
How fast do you charge it?
I charge mine at 20 amps on race day. Okay. Some people like 40. I can do 40, but I like 20. It's enough for me.
And there's no limits for your racing. You're allowed to charge that.
This is street, RC car racing.
Yeah.
We have
Outlaws. Hey, cowboys.
we have
Jumper
a,
cables.
we have a beautiful set of rules outlining the car.
Yeah.
And then we have a second set of rules outlining how we race.
Yep.
If it's not covered in those two sets of rules, then
Yep.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And trust me, everyone tries.
Right.
Right. Now,
That's half the fun.
here's this little thing here, right? This is called a GNSS performance analyzer. This is by a company called SkyRC.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a few different ones, but they're all made in the same factory in China, and this one's branded SkyRC.
We
Now,
sell them here.
Yep.
We absolutely sell them here.
these are wonderful little tools.
So they've got an internal battery,
Yep.
which is USB-C
Oh,
powered.
so it's self-contained.
Yep.
Yep,
I thought you had to
self-contained.
plug it in. Oh,
And Bluetooth onto your device,
okay.
commonly referred to as a phone.
Let's try and turn it on.
And the car's not going to go, is it?
No,
We're
we're not going to turn the car
You're
on.
not going to do a burnout on
No,
the
wait.
beach.
We're just going to turn this on.
Kabang!
Right. So I'm going to push this button.
I want to.
So if we push this up a bit higher,
I want to drag race this
we'll be able
against.
to-
I want to drag race this against Bone Crusher.
So it's talking, is it?
Yeah, look, this doesn't have a switch.
Right.
So it's always, even when you're not using it, it still drains down. So
Oh,
if you
really?
if you have one of
Oh.
these, you must charge it the night before you go use it.
Okay, so it's
Right.
always on standby.
Yeah. So this might be flat. It looks
It's
like
like-
it is flat.
It's
Unfortunately.
like me. It's always on.
You're always on.
Always on. Ready to go.
But anyway, I can still show you pretty much how this sort of works. So basically, we have this on here. We have an app on our phone.
Okay, let's see if I can get it a bit tighter there, and we'll get you to move
Get in
your
tight,
phone.
like get in
Push a
tight.
bit higher.
Get in tight like a tiger.
Yep. Let's get it. Shift that up to about there.
I'm going to make sure. There we go.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
All right, there we go. Oh look.
can you zoom in a little bit?
Zoom out a bit.
Just a bit,
Oh,
babe.
just a touch.
Come on.
How's that?
Oh, well, good enough. So in this, I can set all sorts of different parameters. One of the
Yeah.
functions is drag racing.
Okay.
So I select the drag parameter,
Yeah.
and then we either have it in metric or imperial, so miles or kilometers.
Yes.
Almost all drag racing is done in imperial,
Yep.
so we do everything in imperial.
Why is that?
Because Americans rule the world.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's easier for you to compute how you're doing. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
compare. Before drag racing, imperial made no sense to me.
Yeah.
Now it makes a little bit of sense to me. Right.
Yeah.
So we can set it. So we race over a scale quarter mile,
right.
Yeah.
which is 132 feet.
132
Yeah.
feet. Okay.
Right. So you might have heard of things like 13, 20 and that sort of stuff.
Mhm. Yep.
That's a quarter mile. So that's
Right.
what people drag race over.
Yes.
So we drag race over 132 feet. And so if you have a look at here, we've got mode, distance, 132 feet.
Yep.
Then we have acceleration and G meter.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can focus it a bit better.
What's up, Jay?
This G meter is an algorithm, so take it with a grain of salt. All right.
That's how many G's it can pull.
Yep, that is.
Right. Okay.
And then as we come down here, so you'll see here we've got a blue line which
Yep.
shows us our speed progression.
Yep.
Yes.
And then we have this orange line, which is our calculated G
Right.
progression, right?
Okay.
And then we get the information. So this is a dry tire pass,
Yes.
right? I don't want to scare anybody.
Wow.
So 2.1 at 76 miles an hour.
Wow.
So that it's actually not here, that car, but this particular car. So from a standing still,
Yes.
a standing stop to 132 feet, which is about 40 meters and 20 centimeters. So let's say 40 meters. So
Yep.
over that distance,
Yep.
it was able to do it in 2.1 seconds from a standing start. And its top speed was 176 miles an hour, which has got to be what, 115, 120 k's an hour,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah, and it did
Tipping
it all.
the X-Max wouldn't keep up with that.
The X-Max.
No, not even
Oh, I
close.
reckon with some F-size rockets on it.
Yeah.
It did it all with dry sweeps.
Of course it
There you
did.
go.
Sweet
Okay.
tires, huh?
So let's talk a little bit
Sweep.
about sweeps.
Sweet reds and sweet blacks.
So sweep tires are really, really good. There's a company, Sweep, that manufactures these tires. Sweep's an OEM, isn't it?
Yes.
So what that means is they make their own stuff, which means that they're able to give us really good things.
Yeah.
And they brought out these tires, these sweeps. Now there's a tire out there that is considered to be the best.
Yep.
Now I've heard on good advice that it's made by the same people that make this tire. Right.
Okay.
No, I'm not confirming that. Okay. So don't hold me to that. Don't go rushing them down. But my understanding is that this is as good a compound as the one in this tire that everyone goes crazy for.
Right. Okay.
These tires that I'm talking about, people are paying $200 US for a pair.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Okay. And these sweeps
Because
are
they're
just as
exclusive.
good. I
Oh,
can
right.
tell you this other tire, I do
Yep.
have them.
Yep.
I did a 185 at 82, a 185 at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I put brand new sweep reds on.
Yep.
Yep.
These tires, these actual tires here,
Yep.
in this car,
Yep.
right? And I prepped them and I sent it and it did a 180, okay, at 83 miles an hour. This is a slightly taller tire than the other one, and I picked up 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, could
Okay.
geared up a little bit.
And that was out of the packet.
Yep.
Okay. So these, I think they're what, $65 a pair here or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Man, like honestly, if you can't get your these are belted and everything. I cannot talk highly enough about these sweep tires. There's quite a few people that sell them in Australia, so obviously you can buy them here, or you can buy them from other people.
Well, we're the agent and importer into Australia. So if we don't have them, check out your local hobby shop.
yeah,
Good question
Absolutely.
here. Anthony wants to
Anthony.
know how long do the tires last?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask that because I've never blown a pair of tires up. I've never
Really?
worn through a pair of tires,
Oh, there you go.
right? But there is things to consider, and this is a good example.
Yeah.
Can I, are we,
Yep.
Can we go to the top view?
I can see that you've
Right.
Looks like you've damaged it. You've crashed it at some point.
We're probably going to have to.
You want me to pull it out a bit?
Can you guys see this? Just the tip.
There
Can
we
you
go.
see the sidewall on this tire?
Yep.
Right. See these wear marks on there?
Yep.
Now the sidewall is not belted
Yeah.
or
Right.
protected.
Yep.
So if you pass me that body, the blue one,
That's where you were rubbing on it.
that's
Oh, is
where
it?
it was rubbing.
Oh, is it from
right?
the deformation?
It's both.
Ah,
So this body, I don't know if this is going to work for you guys.
Might be a bit
No,
tight.
no, it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
Okay.
so
but,
what-
But the edge of the body is rubbing against here,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And so what that does is that wears that away. But there's also something that also happens, and it's people who steer their car
Yep.
when they're trying to make a pass. What happens is the sidewall. Maybe if we go to the front camera.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, hang on. Let me take it out of
no,
here.
the front camera. Or
The front
top
camera?
Front
Okay.
camera. Front camera.
Oh, front camera. There we
Yeah,
go.
There we go.
Right. Can you see the tire as we turn? It's folding under the wheel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
And so if you're steering this car
Yep.
under all sorts of force and stress,
Yep.
trying to do a pass, and you're steering it,
Yep.
what can happen is then the sidewall can come and run under the car.
Yep.
So that's when these can fail.
Yep.
You're more likely to rip a tire open
Yep.
Tear the sidewall.
and either rip a
Right.
belt or something than you are to actually wear it out.
Okay.
So, look, I would say in terms of passes, you should get 250 passes out of a tire before it wears out.
You're going to wear out cars before you wear out tires.
Yeah,
And the
you're going to want to
inserts.
try something else before you.
And the inserts. What's to go with the inserts?
Well, these are special inserts.
These are special ones, are they? Okay.
Yes, these are special inserts that were given to me by Mr. Sweet
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
to
these
try. These are the
development ones.
prototype ones
Yep.
Right.
that I put in this car. So I put the prototype foams in, and then
Yep.
brand new tires.
Yes.
Put it down. Car did the fastest pass ever.
Wow.
Right on the street. So.
Right.
In terms of foams, you need to consider some things because you've got soft foams, you've got hard foams,
Yes.
medium foams, you've got closed cell and open cell foams.
Yep.
Yes.
I prefer for a prep car.
Yep.
Okay. Where you've got a lot of force going through these. I prefer a medium foam,
Right.
an open foam, a medium open foam.
Okay.
Okay. And don't be afraid to cut them.
And the foam is like the air pressure inside of your
Yes.
car, your family
Yep.
car tire, your one-to-one car tire.
Yep.
So by altering the insert,
Yep.
It's like changing the air pressure.
Yep.
And how the tire or the contact patch behaves.
Theoretically, the softer the foam,
Mhm.
the more grip you have.
Yep.
But if you have a soft tire and a soft foam, you can actually have it that the wheel sticks to the ground.
Yep.
And it stretches the tire, and then it comes up, and you get this fluttering noise that you can hear, and that just creates wobble and instability.
Yep.
So to fix that, you run a slightly stiffer foam.
Right.
So if you're running your prep car, you might hear it go. And that's because the foam is too
And I
soft.
suppose the other way is because the wheel can actually like stretch and deform, and then the wheel will bottom out. No?
Absolutely.
And then you'll
Yeah.
be running on plastic, which will
If-
unload.
If the
Yeah.
wheel bottoms out,
Yeah.
it's all over.
It's all over.
Yeah, if that
That's
plastic,
it.
if the plastic, if it compresses so hard that the plastic hits the ground, you
Yep.
get an infinite spring rate and your traction, everything's done.
Right.
Right. So if you're launching your car,
I think we need to go down there one day to this club beach and check it out.
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go down
Oh.
there and check it out one day.
We'll talk about that just quickly because there is
Yes.
something coming up that I think is going to be quite exciting for everybody.
Okay.
But there's one main thing on this car that differentiates it from the one that we just looked at, which I said is the jack of all trades.
Yep.
What do you guys think that is? Or what do you notice potentially that the viewers might not have noticed about it?
Well, I realized that it's got like floating body mount.
Oh, that's a very keen observation.
Is that
Absolutely.
it? Is it?
Yeah, that's the floating
Ah.
body mount
It's
system.
a floating body mount system, which are quite synonymous with 8-scale pan cars and anything that really relies on, even back our old 10-scale nitro cars used to have it, where the rear body post would be mounted to the hubs.
Well, maybe we can demonstrate it
Same on the front.
sideways. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a
So,
good
I guess-
example.
And that way the aerodynamics are acting directly on the
You see how
wheel.
the front body mount is actually moving with the suspension movement there. And then on the rear should be the same.
Do you want to grab any one of those other two cars and we can actually give a side-by-side comparison of the two?
Yep.
Um,
How handy is it having these wheelie bars? It's like a carry handle.
Yeah, well, that's how I brought them over. So as the suspension moves on this car,
Yeah.
Yeah.
these body posts here
Yeah.
don't move.
Yeah,
they're locked
they
in
stay
Okay.
place.
still, yeah.
Right? As this moves, the body post moves.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. But alternatively, let's go to the front.
Yep.
Alternatively, what we see here is when I'm putting pressure down on these,
Yeah.
the suspension's not compressing.
Yeah,
Okay.
pushing
So
into
the
the tread.
aerodynamics of the body is going straight into the chassis,
Tyre.
straight to the
Yep.
tires.
And that does two things. One, obviously, it gives you grip,
Yes.
but it stops the chassis. It doesn't interfere with the way your shocks work.
Yes.
So I have this car set up so that the front will be low and then it will slightly rise like this. It'll rock as it goes through. But you look, the body stays exactly the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And as the wind pressure comes, it doesn't force the front down and then change the geometry of the front end as well.
Okay.
Because this is a direct link. So there's always going to be an element of bump steer and these sorts of things to it.
Yep.
Can be gained that you can't really avoid. So I do my best to minimize it. And that's almost a 30-minute video just on how to get that sorted. But that's the sort of thing there. Whereas if we look at this car here, right, the body just moves. So if I push down on the body, the whole car comes down as well.
Right.
And that affects your ride heights and all these sorts of things as well.
That's
right.
fantastic. Well,
these are all made by Unfair RC in WA.
So I had a question here from David Malia. He wanted to know what was the model of the Orca speed controller.
that's the Orca OE 1.2.
The Orca OE 1.2.
Yeah, and that will go 2S, 4S. So you can use it in 10 scale applications too. You can use it in an 8 scale buggy, and that will be for censored motors. So it's all for censored motors, but can run 2-pole, 4-pole. And I think it's rated to 400 amps per channel per phase. But yeah, insane. So it's just like it's got the same software and all the tuning factors of an OE1. But it's all beefed up like 50%.
And with this, I'm just running the factory cat pack. I haven't bothered with anything particularly fancy. It all works great.
That's what we like to hear.
I'm running a switch though.
Did you put the switch on?
Yeah. Whereas I know a lot of people don't necessarily like the switch, but when you've got the body on and everything, it's a lot of pain stuffing around plugging batteries in and out.
Okay.
So
stick your finger in there.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Now, so I use this XT90.
Mhm.
There's one above this called a QS8.
Oh, is it?
QS8.
Which is an 8mm plug.
Right.
Personally, it's too much.
Yep.
I can't pull them apart.
Wow.
It's a real pain.
Yep.
So I run this. I would much rather run, say, a 6.5mm bullet.
Yep.
I think that's actually ideal for this. And I may do that in the future.
Yep.
But this is easy and safe. So
For
that's
sure.
kind of why I run this system.
I mean,
We've actually got some 8-gauge wire in.
We did.
Hey, just for you. 8-gauge.
Perfect.
Hey,
That's
Like
it.
the
You can
size
solder
of-
it for me.
It's like the size of my little finger.
AC90s are great. I mean, any of the XT series, I'm quite impressed with them because they've got a really pronounced fit.
They fit really well. They
And I've never
only
had one
go-
come loose.
They only go one way,
And
and
they're very easy to replace.
they're nice
if you
to
need to.
solder and work on.
That's that for me. That's the
Bone
difference.
Crusher's going to get some soon.
Bone crusher.
Bone Crusher's going to get some XT90s.
The I think so. These are like 4.5mm, and I think that IC5s are like 5mm or 5.5mm,
Right.
and have a slightly higher capacity.
Right.
But you can't reuse them.
Yep.
And that's just a pain for me because when you're moving things around, especially in this,
Yeah.
I like being able to reuse my plugs. So I do like the XT90.
Yeah, for sure.
Beautiful.
No,
So how do you find us? How do you find all these sorts of things? Well,
yeah.
Western Australia have a club.
Right.
Queensland have a club.
Okay.
Right. We have 2 clubs.
Right.
Okay, which we'll talk about.
Mhm.
And New South Wales have a club as well.
Okay.
Okay. So most of the major areas do have a club. The easiest way to find these people, guys, is using Facebook.
Yep.
Facebook search as your friend, put in there no prep drag racing, and put in your state or your city, and something will come up.
Okay.
Ours is NPRC, no prep drag racing,
Right.
Melbourne, Vic. So if you
Right.
put that in, you'll find it. Okay.
Okay. Easy.
And the second, and that's for the no prep. This is for this sort of stuff
Yep.
where you've got, which is more casual.
And you guys run out of Knox?
Yeah, so we run at Knox. We also sometimes run at Thomastown. Sometimes we run in Ajax, in Altona. So we do run
Altona.
because we're not.
Yeah.
We don't have to have a designated track because we're not
Yeah.
prepping or anything. We do move around a little bit, but probably 2 out of 3, 4 out of 5 times we're in Knox.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Now we race the first Sunday of every month.
First Sunday.
Keep it
That's
easy.
easy to remember.
Yep. 9 a.m. first Sunday of every month. You check out at the page and it will tell you what's happening.
Beautiful.
All right. And the second club is called the VRCDRA.
DRA.
Yeah, right.
Victorian RC Drag Racing Association.
Okay.
That's the track-based group.
Yep.
They race at Knox at the CFA training track.
Right.
So it's a designated area.
Right.
The area is sprayed with sugar water, very similar to a normal drag racing track. There you'll see these cars racing. So if you've got one of these, you can race it.
Yep.
But they also have a DYO class where you can run any kind of car there, generally.
Yep.
And then they've got Top Fuel, which is your 30-inch dragsters.
Yep.
Which, so I was saying this car does 1.8s, they do 1.2s.
Okay.
Wow.
Right? Yep. And all sorts of manner of things in between. The guys there are really good. They have the state titles coming up.
How cool is that?
States, you win trophies.
Wow.
You want to win some trophies, you want to do some drag racing, or you want to come check it out, or you want to have some fun. It's the third Sunday in May. Head to go to Facebook and put in VRC DRA.
Yep.
Right, and you will find it, and you can join the group and see all a bunch of great guys that are there to talk about that sort of stuff as well.
Sounds exciting.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
I think we should go down and check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, we want you guys to come down. Bring something, race and DYO.
Share something.
Yeah, and go from there. Look,
Find something. There's nothing the phaser hasn't done yet.
well,
Nothing I can't do with a phaser.
these there's so much more to talk about with this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But it can get diluted,
of course.
right? So, if people have got some questions, shoot them now because we're here to talk about them, and I think we can, help people when it comes to it.
Yes.
But in terms of this sort of stuff,
But otherwise, you can always comment on here, and Travis will get back.
Yep.
We'll forward them over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and I think in the description on this, can we put the links to the Facebook pages for the two
Absolutely,
blokes?
we can.
Absolutely.
And we'll
Yep.
put the links to the WA page, the Queensland page, which I said was the QMDRA, and the New South Wales page as well.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Beautiful.
and look, if anyone's watching this and you're from, there's one at Darwin as well. There's a Darwin guys that I see.
Right.
So if you're from any of those sorts, if you've got your own little club with a couple of mates and you want more people to come down, leave a comment saying, "Hey guys, we're in blah blah. We want a party. Let's catch up."
Let's go.
And it's about having fun.
Of course it is.
more
All
than everything else.
RC, all this stuff that we do, whatever discipline, so to speak, that we race or we play with, it's all for fun.
Yeah.
Just depends what you like. Obviously, you got to enjoy the content, and your enthusiasm or passion will take over.
Look, I think one thing we should probably talk about is cost for
Cost.
these sorts of things, so people understand what they might be on
Cost doesn't
for.
matter. You can't put a price on happiness, Travis.
That's right.
If you're buying a stock car,
Yep.
a DR10, something like that,
Mhm.
look, be prepared to spend about $800.
Yeah.
Okay,
By the time you get the car, battery, and the
That's
charger
right.
and stuff,
right. Okay, about
And some-
$800.
and some sweets.
Yeah, well, you got to have sweeps.
Otherwise, you do donut.
And then when you realize that it's really slow and boring
Yes.
because it's ready to run, you
Yes.
get your Orcas.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. And then to go up to something like this, okay, so this is
Full house.
yeah, look, so this doesn't have the floating body mounts or anything like that, but something like this is probably about $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And then some of the higher end stuff with the big batteries and all that sort of stuff, you're probably looking at about $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't have to spend it at once.
No.
You can upgrade and buy bits and pieces, which is the joy of the two classes we run.
Yes.
That's
So
right.
the dry tire class, where you
Yes.
can run your stock Lossy 22 S. In
Yep.
fact, the last, it's not the last meet, but the two last drag days before that, a stock Lossy 22 S1.
Right.
Drag Fuchsias. Drag Fuchsias says
Drake Fisher says,
to finish first,
Yes.
first you must finish. And it's not about how much power you've got, it's about how much power you can use.
"Oh,
Right? So you don't have to have the best of everything. You just have to have your car set
power
up.
is nothing without control."
Exactly. With great power comes great responsibility.
I've got no control or responsibility.
And I can vouch for that.
Thank you very much, Travis. You have
That's
done
really
amazing
enlightening.
things for us. You've enlightened us heaps.
Learned a lot.
Yeah,
Learned a lot.
I hope people have got to see some stuff like this. Is stuff you just don't see every day.
No, that's right.
But as an RC nuffy, which is what I am, I love this sort of thing.
Oh, this,
It's
That's what gets you out of bed early on a Sunday morning.
well, these cars are dual purpose, right?
Yeah.
You can get a couple of DR10s and you can drag race in the driveway with your kids.
Yeah.
You can go down to the park, you can go to a school or something like that and have heaps of fun without ever bothering with competition.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that's right.
Or you can buy that, you can play with your mates, but then you can actually go and race. So you can actually join a group. So yes, you can hang out by yourself and play with your car and learn it, but you can also drag race with a bunch of people who are super friendly and all want to make you go fast as well. Plus also, if you like upgrading things,
Don't we all like to upgrade?
then this is a very, very fun
it's very
way
fun.
to go because
Sure.
the aftermarket is just insane for all these sorts of things. All right.
And it's all custom made. And a lot of it comes from here in Australia at Unfair RC.
Yeah, Unfair
that's
RC.
awesome.
Go to Facebook, look for the Unfair RC drivers group and join it.
Yeah.
And then say, Brenton, give me some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so
he
You know,
will.
well, what are you working on? We want to see it. And so he'll help. There's one thing we should probably talk about, which is that body there before we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Let's have a chat about this.
Right.
This is something that young Saurian bestowed upon us the other week, and I didn't know a lot about it.
Right. So, one of the beautiful things of Hearns is that they have these wonderful bitty bodies.
We do.
Okay. So Betty, where are they? Italian,
Italian.
right? And they make a huge, so they do all of the race stuff, touring cars and that sort of thing, right?
Buggies.
But now, in the last sort of 4 years or so, they've gone out, so you can buy the 1/7 scale and fraction style bodies,
Yes.
the 1/8 scale GT bodies,
Yep.
and you can buy the no prep bodies. I think they've got 4 or 5 of them now.
Yep.
And this body is awesome. It's particularly aerodynamic.
Yep.
You can see that there's no rear bumper.
Yep.
Okay. So
That's the way to go fast.
it's what we call a Pro Mod style body,
Very much.
because Pro Mods don't have rear bumpers,
Yep.
right? And it's just a really, really good looking body. This one's special.
Yeah.
I don't know if where are we looking up or up top?
Yeah.
Let's
we
go
can
up
we
top.
can go there. We can
What
go.
do I do then?
Let's
I
have a
don't know.
bird's eye view.
Uh-oh.
So,
Are we on?
We're on.
so guys, if you have a look here, you'll see the signature.
Yep.
The keen among you will see that that's Ryan Martin's signature.
It
Right.
is.
Now, who here knows who Ryan Martin is?
He's an American guy that came over for the Outlaw Challenge thing, yeah?
Mhm.
Ryan Martin drives the Fireball Camaro.
Fireball.
The Fireball Camaro, which is arguably one of the fastest. Oh, yeah, it's up there with the fastest street racing car in America and the world. And he was kind enough to come over here and race. Saurian and all of his
Cohorts.
yeah, and his beautiful talents was able to paint up this body, and this body is a replica of Ryan Martin's actual car.
Yeah.
And he got Ryan Martin to sign the bloody thing.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Which is rad. And he also did a couple of other ones. We did the Murder Nova, which is like the silver one we saw at the start.
Yes.
Right.
And then there's the Pontiac GTO, which you guys would know as a Monaro,
Yes.
which was Steve Lutz's vehicle. So he got them all signed, and it's all very, very exciting. But this is really beautiful. So if you guys want some good drag racing bodies, there's a Viper,
Yes.
right? There's this. It's not. It's a VPR.
Mhm.
Right?
No, the VPR is different. This is a ZR21.
No, yeah. So this is a ZR21.
Then there's a VPR.
Yep.
There's a M550.
Yep.
And is there another one? I don't know. There probably is.
Right.
I've forgotten.
So
there's at least 3
Yeah.
that I can think of off the top of my head.
so this is a body you can use to do 1.8 second passes with.
Wow.
And if you want one that's got a rear bumper on it, remember for our other class, something like the Viper or the M550, which have rear bumpers,
Yeah.
work perfectly for those sorts of
Yeah.
classes as
Right.
well. So from Hearns, get your Orca ESC. They're perfect. I love them. Get your sweep tires. You can't buy better tires.
Mhm.
And get your bitty bodies.
Look at this guy flying the flag hard. I love it.
Always impressed at how they've been able to stiffen these
Without stiffening them.
without any stiffness. That's right.
They're really, really stiff, aren't they?
Yeah.
The only thing that we do with those sorts of bodies is we run a brace from here to here.
Right. Okay. And stop the size.
Yeah. And so that tries to limit the amount that they hit your tires and so on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And this does have another piece here that's missing or something.
Yeah, the
Another
splitter.
flap or something, a splitter.
Oh,
That was
okay.
taken
yes.
off to avoid me from losing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well,
We
there you
better send
go.
that back to him next week. He's probably missing it.
He probably is.
Thank you very much, Travis.
No
That
problem.
was really informative, and I've learned a heap, and it's made me want to live life 40 meters at a time.
All sorts
You
of
know,
stuff.
drag racing, you don't have to use these sorts of cars. You know, as far as I'm concerned, get what you've got, get a mate, go find somewhere where you're not going to hurt anybody or yourselves, and line them up and
Yep.
race them.
Yeah.
Get a can,
Yep.
right? You and your mate stand there, throw the can over your head, so you don't know when it's going to hit the ground. When it hits the ground, you race,
That's fair, isn't it?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, these are the sorts of things you can do, and you know, it's just another way you can enjoy RC.
For sure.
Race in the mud, race in the sand, race in the
Yeah.
grass.
That's it. Wow, that's amazing.
I've got a challenge.
You've got a
I
challenge.
feel a challenge coming on beach. I feel a challenge. I think we should go.
I love
tear
it.
up-
I
think
love
we
a
should go
challenge.
and tear up Birralong Mar again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, eh?
Fantastic, Travis. Thanks for
All right,
coming on,
thank
mate.
you.
No
That
problem.
was really, really good.
That was amazing.
And
I'll still be around for another 15 or 20 minutes, guys. So
Yep.
get your
So
questions
any
in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be able to answer them. And if I'm not here and you've got questions, and these guys can't answer them, they can ask me, and I can always come back and answer them.
Yeah, we'll forward them over or whatever.
Yeah. And we'll make sure we'll have the links up
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
the replay of the live as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Travis.
No
Excellent.
problem.
That was awesome.
All right. All right. What show? Let's get into this car of the week,
Car of the week.
which we had a guess very early on.
Yeah, we got that at HQ.
We was
I heard that as HQ. Is that
all
what I
right.
heard?
So there, Anthony said HQ.
Yep.
Okay.
It could be a HQ, but what is it? Is it a Ford HQ, a Valiant HQ, Chev HQ?
Well,
I
I've
don't
got
know.
this. So Jeff's given us some information that we don't necessarily need, but it's a 24 scale kit that's been painted by Jack A.
It has indeed
It
been
has.
painted by Jack A.
Yes.
We're going to get to that, but we need to know the make, the model, and the color.
What about this?
The color could be tricky, but
05 Ford Focus. I think it's a bit different.
I think that's more about the color.
Or is it focus as in what you're looking at?
I've got no focus.
All right, no. That's
I've
probably
got
wrong,
no
yeah?
focus.
That's probably wrong. Okay, let's go back. Oh, look at this. Jeff's on
What?
it again.
What's
He's
he saying
even got to
now?
wait.
He
haven't
didn't-
even weighed it
we
yet.
haven't even weighed it.
So HQ Sunset Orange. White 18 scale. It's not 18 scale.
Definitely not 18 scale.
No. Sunset Orange? Was it Sunset Orange?
No.
It's not Sunset Orange. Okay.
No.
All right, 250 grams. Let's just weigh it now and we'll find out. Oh, it's lower.
It's not 250 grams.
It's lower than 250 grams.
Are you going to remember that? You had
No.
trouble last week remembering that.
I don't remember numbers very well at all. Sometimes I forget what I'm named.
Woo!
All right, what else we got?
What else have we got?
Have we got any more?
What's the folks saying?
So there was a little bit of talk about the cars being short courses
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and such.
They were short courses.
So
they did start last
pretty
with
much
short
everyone's
courses
just
in one
chatting
day.
away and answering each other's questions. Eh?
That's really good. Let's get to the next segment.
What have we got here?
Let's talk some BJ modeling stuff.
BJ modeling stuff.
Let's talk some BJ modeling stuff.
Okay. All right. What do we got?
Otherwise, it's just going to be all RC. You tell me what we've got. It's,
Oh,
it's
okay,
your
good.
segment, buddy. Let's get to
All
it.
right. Last week I talked about this, right?
Yeah. You
This
talked,
came in.
you talked about this last week.
I did. But this being the best 32nd scale Spitfire Mark 1 that's now available from Qatari, I thought I'll show you the best 48 scale one.
Okay. I see what you've done there.
Ah, there you
I
go.
see. I get
Are
it.
you sure?
So you've showed
might
us
be confused.
you've showed us the best 32nd scale.
This one is the best 48 scale.
48.
So this one's a Tamiya kit.
What
This was
makes it
released
so great?
just as fit. It's quite a new tooling from
Is
Tamiya.
it new?
It's not super new. It got released last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we've had a recent restock,
Yes,
so we do have some available.
that's right. And these are always very, very popular.
Are they?
Yes. So if a 36 scale was a bit big for your workbench or for just your space,
What's the wingspan on this one?
just say so on the front.
Well, I need to know because what if my workbench is too small?
Well, that's right.
Oh, yep, 235. Perfect.
235.
Because my workbench is 237.
That is absolutely perfect. I'll put it aside.
Couldn't get any better.
No, not at all.
You can look forward to the Model Expo this year.
Yes.
I'll enter that. No.
All right.
No, I will not.
You will.
Definitely won't.
You'll be there anyway.
Spitfire
So
Mark
that's
1.
48 scale.
Love that.
Okay. So apart from that, what else we got? I was going to look at this.
Oh,
This is a new kit.
what is it? Why is it so big?
It's a big ship.
But it's only a small scale.
This is the German destroyer from.
It's not 1/32 scale though.
It's not 36 scale.
It's a big box though.
This is a big box. What scale is it? Is it 72nd?
1 and 144.
Oh wow! So this is a destroyer from before World War.
So could we call
II.
it? Could we call it HO?
No, I wonder 144 is closer to N.
N.
Yeah. So you could have this on the N scale layout.
Yeah, we should.
Or put it next to our micro layout.
Yeah.
No. This gives you an idea of the size of this sort of ship, right?
Wow.
So destroyer, well, really a destroyer compared to most other ships like battleships and aircraft carriers are quite small. But at the time, just after World War One, Germany was not allowed to have any like a large military. And this was actually designed in 1935, and it was way over the specs of what they were allowed to build.
That
And
was
it
a bit,
became a flagship for them.
well,
Navy.
that was a bit cheeky.
Yeah, they did quite a few cheeky things before they actually.
Went to war again.
That's right.
Hey?
That's right.
They broke
So
the
somehow
rules.
they weren't allowed to have an army, and suddenly there was this big massive army they took over massive Europe. But this was a flagship, and then eventually after this, they kept making bigger and bigger stuff, as I was pushing.
Well,
the
they're
envelope.
allowed to then.
That's right. So this is sort of I guess big, well, famous because it was one of the flagships.
Flagships.
Yeah,
Well,
it's pretty big.
fit a big
It
flag,
didn't
wouldn't it?
last very long. It did participate in World War II.
Yep.
But it was sunk by, not too sure, but most likely British mines.
How many did they have? Just one?
No, there were 2 ships, I think.
And they made a model of just 2 ships.
Okay.
They made a model of just 2 ships.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because historically it was important. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the Platinum Edition. And the Platinum Edition is because it gives you quite a lot of photo etch.
Oh.
All the photo etch parts and all the brass bits, which we could probably see on the top camera.
Let's go to
Yeah.
top camera down.
All right, let's go over here.
It's an awfully big box.
It is a big box.
Like
All
a
right, so
cricket bat.
the Z1 or the Z5. Okay, they're the different destroyers
What does the
that were
Z
produced.
stand for?
I don't know. Zeppelin?
No, that was a hot air balloon.
Oh, was
wasn't
it? Could have been. So look at all the photo which they give you. So there's all the railings and such.
You can see here.
Oh, where? Oh, yeah.
There's like shows you some of the detail points.
Right, so you see all the guns are all brass. It's
Do you,
photo
do you
etch
paint
all
them
along.
or do you leave them brass?
No, you paint it. So they just left it there so you can easily recognize what's plastic
Oh,
and what's
okay.
brass.
I was gonna say that's a bit of bling. They didn't roll like that.
Bling,
did they?
bling. Well, some people actually like building their stuff and
Really?
living it like this.
It's a bit gangsters, like having a gold tooth.
It is, isn't it? Since you put it that way. So very special indeed. So there you go. So that is.
What was the last destroyer you ever built?
I haven't built this destroyer actually.
Have you?
No.
Well, here you go. I know what to
The
get.
last
you
time I built a ship
I know
was
what to get
very,
you
very
for
long time
Christmas.
ago. So look at all the machine brass parts. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 frets, large frets of photo etch. The silver one being stainless steel.
It's called a fret,
It's a fret.
not a sprue.
That's right.
Hmm.
So there you go. Platinum edition.
We've been in quite a fret today,
Right.
to be honest.
There
Quite a fret.
you go.
Fretting heavily.
Apart from that, how about we go back to the car? So
No.
no, what else you
Okay.
got? Oh,
I want you to show me your balls.
I can show you. Yeah, I got 3 packs. That's unusual, isn't it?
Let me hold your balls.
Well, each pack of these has got ball bearings in them.
This is the newest thing from 9 Steps,
It is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And why would you buy like balls in a packet?
Well, these are mixing balls. So you pop these into a bottle of paint.
Yep.
So if you're familiar with the dropper type paints,
The dropper type paints.
yeah, like Vallejos and Scale 75,
Yep.
that sort of paint, they're actually filled quite to the top of the brim.
Yep.
So you can't really mix them well when they're brand new. You can shake them, but there's not much void in them.
But we got a Twizy thing from GSW.
Yeah, yeah. So you can either use an actual paint, an electrical paint shaker.
Yep.
Or you can just drop these in there. So
Yep.
either drop 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls,
How
and
many-
they'll fit in like
How
jars
many
as
balls
well.
do you usually drop in?
Maybe 2.
Yep.
That's natural, isn't it?
I don't know.
So how about we get a close look? I mean, there's nothing really.
A close look at your balls.
That's right. Where are we? Oh, there we go.
Just don't mention
packets-
dogs. Just don't mention dogs in the bathtub.
So each packet comes with 40 balls in here.
Did you count them?
I haven't counted them, but I believe it.
Okay.
The packaging.
Yep. And they're all the same size?
Yeah,
Are they
okay,
different
they're
size
stainless
balls?
steel. They're all the same size. So you can use as many balls as you like. One packet will go a long way, and you can reuse them after you finish off the paint if you like. You just clean them off and just reuse them.
Clean your balls and then put it in another one.
That's right.
There you go.
But they're really handy. Simple thing like this makes life so much easier. Yeah, there's nothing like not being able to shake up some paint or mix up the paint.
Could I put
correctly.
it? Can I put it in my Humbrol?
You could, absolutely. It'll work really well in Humbrol too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Humbrol doesn't have an agitator ball.
No, not at all. So even Tamiya, bottles,
I'm going to
anything
put
like
it in everything.
that. Everything.
I think I'm going to put
Yeah.
it inside everything. I'm going to put I'm going to put my little balls in everything.
Oh, yeah, now.
Yep.
So there you go. So look out for those mixing balls. Very, very popular edition, particularly with the tabletop gamers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No. Because they use a lot of those sort of paints
And balls.
and balls, and the balls will come in handy. There's nothing worse than having all the pigment stuck to the bottom of the bottle, and you can't get to it because it's in one of those dropper bottles.
And they don't shake real well.
No, not at all.
Let's get to the car.
All right, let's get to the car.
Before
So,
I'm
what do we
sweating.
get?
I'm sweating and I'm fretting.
All right. Where are we? All right. So we got,
What have we got?
Jeff's got another guess, 150 grams.
Higher.
It's higher than that, isn't it?
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So it's under 250 and it's above 150. Is that it? Is
Yeah.
that what I said?
And now he's guessing, is it vitamin C orange?
It's not vitamin C orange.
Not vitamin C orange.
No.
Not vitamin C orange. All right.
What else
What do you think we should do? That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, have a look at my bag.
Oh, you got stuff in your bag.
I've got a little bit of stuff in my bag.
Oh, let's look at your bag. Bring it over. Oh, a bit tight there.
Tight like a tiger in my Rubik 12 gear bag.
Yes. And the big one. Oh,
What have I got here?
you got some.
The
nice
latest
test
offering,
batteries.
Nine Steps Industries have released some new batteries.
Oh,
Now these 8000s, they're a perennial favorite, and these have just been restocked.
right.
These come with either an XT90 or a Traxxas style connector
Yeah.
are available.
Right.
These are the perfect partners for anything from your 8-scale racing buggy
Yeah.
to your X-Max
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff, all your big basher stuff. So where you use two of them. They have batteries have got so much punch. They're 100C.
Wow.
They are phenomenal.
Mm,
Now the next one up, step up from that,
Yes.
is 9,000 milliamps,
right.
which is unfathomable. I'll probably run the X-Max till the motor, poor little motor
Well, it melts.
melts, the gearbox casing. At 100C,
Yep.
and even more, this is a high voltage.
Right.
So the difference between high voltage lipos and traditional lipos,
Yes.
these are designed to be charged and used at 4.35 volts per cell
Right.
as opposed to 4.2.
Right.
So this thing is 15.2 volts, not 14.8.
So you're going to get higher speeds out of this one
Higher speeds
and more power.
and more power.
right.
More power.
And run time.
Run
And
time,
because it's 9,000 with 100C, it's going to have more.
more goes.
That's right. Goes.
More punch. It's going to have more punch,
Yes.
more
More on
acceleration.
tap.
Yeah, so that's the high voltage lipo.
Yeah.
And these are considered good. Like, we're not allowed to use these in racing applications.
Mhm.
We're only allowed to charge at 4.2 volts per cell.
Yes.
But in those applications, these high voltage ones are considered more robust because you're effectively only using like 95% capacity of the
Yep.
battery.
Yep.
So you're not pushing it to the limits.
Yep.
Whereas this one here at 4.2
Yep.
is the limit of it.
So recently, these have been used in the 8-scale buggies.
8-scale
on big
buggy.
tracks.
Yep. So Tommy Huggins has had these out at Mork,
Yep.
which is a local track.
Yep.
Actually, they got the Vics coming up in a week or two.
Yeah, not long, is it?
I just shared their post yesterday, so get your entries in for that one.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was killing the runtime as far as 10 minutes, full turbo, full boost, full noise, no problems at all.
Yep.
Whereas other cells, they can actually drain too much.
Yep.
Below a threshold, they'll
Yes.
overheat and they'll actually cause internal damage.
Yeah.
So like 6,500 milliamps definitely wasn't enough. 8,000 was more than enough for that application.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, my name's
Oh.
Travis. My name's Travis. I'm a speed runner.
Oh,
I like
Hello.
doing speed running.
Hello.
he's back in.
So this,
Yeah.
Yes.
two of these
Yes.
in series,
Yes.
Yes.
8S, 9,000 milliamp, HV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two of these in series,
Yeah.
I think is a serious contender for speed running cars.
Right.
Speed running cars.
You've got a limitless or an infraction,
Yeah.
which is a 1/7 scale.
Yes.
They like running dual pack.
Or
Yes.
X-Max.
Yeah,
Yes.
X-Max. I think two of these with that 9,000 milliamp runtime.
Yep.
Charged to 4.35.
Yep, should give you some pretty special speeds.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
give
you
you
go.
pretty high
Just,
speed. huh?
just as an alternative, you know, for
Right.
because look, we all love racing.
we
we
do
do.
love racing.
I know we're racing focused, but you know, people are spending thousands of dollars on their speed run cars
That's
and
right.
they're looking for really good bits and pieces.
And-
So I think
and
that
to go for a high voltage battery is an easy game,
absolutely,
isn't it?
Mm.
Yep.
Because you do charge to 4.35 safely.
that's the whole point with this sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to save up and get a couple of these bad boys
Mhm.
and put them in one of the speed run cars I'm running.
Right.
And
Um,
put
yeah.
them to the test.
Yeah, with some GRPs and
Yes.
a bitty
Oh, now you're talking.
and the bitty body as well, the
Yeah.
the R8.
Yeah, the R8.
And we're going to see if we can use some of these Hearns goodies to
Go fast.
yeah
Tip
Yeah.
when we can.
open
good.
open some eyelids.
Not only are
Excellent.
we like the oldest hobby shop in the world, we can be the fastest.
Why not?
No.
Hey?
Let's not get carried
All
away.
right, come on, Travis.
We can be the fastest in the Melbourne CBD.
All right.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
There you go. Speedrunners, of course.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey,
What
else?
else? What else got?
What else is in my bag?
What is it? What is it?
I'm ferreting around.
You don't.
You had some balls.
And what do you got? Oh, you got some balls too. But
Different
these are in
styles of
cages.
balls. My balls are tethered. These are caged. These are retained.
They are, aren't they?
These are 9 Steps Industries bearing packs.
Let's get a bit tired, right?
So you might have seen our very popular bearing range available online, but now we've taken the opportunity of having them pre-packaged. This one, as you can see here, is for a Tamir lunchbox. That's really cool.
What's this one for?
A Hornet. How many thousands of them do you think we're going to sell?
What, Hornets or these?
The bearing packs.
Oh,
This one?
10,000.
TTO1.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
So we do have wild one. You know?
I thought you were calling me a wild one.
You're wild. Hot shot.
Classic.
Grasshopper.
Yes.
And that's just to name a few.
Yeah.
We've got a full range of not only bearing packs that we can make for you, we've got a full range now of pre-packaged 9 Steps Industries bearings. And if you had the pleasure of using them,
Yeah.
much like we have all in our cars,
Yeah.
they are really good quality bearings, super reliable,
Yeah.
really low friction, long wearing, really good.
Definitely a must for any Tamir car.
If you, it's an easy grab, you know, and it's real cost effective. You've been working in hobby shops, let's say, for a few years now. And back in the day, you would have paid $80, $90, $100 for a bearing kit.
Would have.
No?
I mean, in the day, in the late 80s, for a hot shot bearing set, it would have been like $80 in that money back then.
That's in that money back then.
That's right.
And these money today, you're looking at probably what, $30, $35.
That's
For
it.
a bearing pack for Moshe Tamir.
That's right.
Really
Definitely
good.
worth the investment.
What else is in my bag?
What are you trying to do? You're learning from me.
I'm just trying to learn from you.
Right. What have we got in here?
I'm smacking my bag on the floor.
I'll open up the freshness.
Oh! Have a whiff.
What do you mean?
Smell my bag.
Man, that's got a real fresh rubber smell, isn't it?
Isn't it? You know why it's fresh rubber? Because these are fresh. Sorry about that. These are fresh, all new boots. Well, tires, we'll call them, from Sweep Racing.
Well, the impressive thing is when you look up real close.
But look at that. I don't know how they get these tires out of the mold. No, that is phenomenal.
It's pretty fine, isn't it? Look at this.
This is on their newest V6 carcass, which
Yep.
has been engineered and designed to give really good, not only traction, but really good drivability. So it's actually enforced because now with EP buggies,
Yep.
the speeds have gone through the roof.
Yes.
So we're having massive problems with tire distortion and like ballooning.
Nanobite.
Yep, nanobite.
That's a bit of a special name, isn't it?
That's a pretty special name. I don't want to say that I came up with that name or anything, but I came up with that name.
You did.
That's pretty cool that we've that close with the factory, that we've got such a good relationship, that we have a hand in developing the products now. So designed by Sweep Racing, which did show you showed us some last week.
Did?
This is the latest shipment that came in this week.
That's right.
And these are going to be oiled for blue groove, damp tracks,
Yep.
oil tracks.
Yep.
So anything a well prepped 8-scale racing track, these are going to be awesome. It's not going to be for a real dusty, blown out track, a loose track, but for anything that's gripped up, that is the tire for you.
I can keep doing this for days.
Have a look how good that is. So these come on awesome yellow wheels, pre-mounted, pre-glued, ready to go. They got holes punched in them and everything.
Holes punching them.
Yeah, really good. They do that for you at the factory. That is super cool. So there you go. Sweep nanobite. I've got these available in 2 compounds, and I think they're going to be really popular. There's already been, even in the last 48 hours, there's already been like a dozen sets sold.
Yeah.
And the thing about these Sweep buggy tires is they come in sets of 4 for the buggies, and they're the first ones, as far as I know, that do that. So that's really cool. So you get 4 tires, 1 packet, ready to go. Really good price.
Yep.
I refer to Tommy Hagan again, our team driver there for the 8-scale buggies. He's going to put these to the test, if not this weekend, next. So
Looking forward to see.
Looking forward to having a bit of feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. That's what's in Brett's bag this week.
All right. And I think
What do you think?
that leads us to the car.
Let's get to the car.
All right. So I think we're about it. So it's basically just Jeff guessing now. So Jeff's got 180 grams. It's higher than that. isn't it?
Nope.
What do you mean?
That's,
Wasn't it?
It's exactly 180 grams.
Is it?
It is. Who?
I've lost words now. Are you sure?
I'm positive. Let's have a look. Let's go to overhead town and
All
have
right.
a look.
Got me stumped now. All right, let's
I'm going to
hide
put
that.
so we can see that on there. We'll get these scales turned on.
All right, and zeroed off.
Zeroed off. Exactly 180 grams it was before.
Well, there you go.
There you go. I'll say 179.
Well, that's pretty close, isn't
We've
it?
lost a gram.
How did we lose a gram?
I don't know. It's our precision scales, I'd
Right,
say.
fair enough.
I'd say it comes down to our precision
Oh, there you
scientific
go.
scales. So congratulations to Jeff on that.
All right, he's happy.
And what we are looking at here, I
Yeah.
believe, is a 1972,
Is it?
1974 HQ model from DDA.
Yep.
So, and this is been assembled by Jack. So this is the blown version.
Yes.
So, this isn't custom made. This is completely out of the box. Might want to go to
Yeah.
the overhead on this one.
So this is the version that actually wasn't announced when they first designed the kits.
Yeah,
There were
that's
only
right.
3 available, and this is the 4th.
They did a fourth one.
Yep.
And you can see here, we might have to zoom up in there, Beej, if you can. Get all up in my junk while we get in there. Have a look at the detail. It's done a chrome blower hood, blower. It's put detail in the belt. It's got even a texture on the belt there on the blower. I love
What do
these
you mean?
little details.
I mean, you put the texture on the belt.
Well, it's like a matte. It's like a rubber paint.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks textured.
Yeah.
And it's just a flat plastic piece.
Yes.
All these hoses and cables.
Yep.
They would have come in the kit.
Yep.
Because it's as per the box.
Yes. So if you don't know, this is actually the very first injection molded
Australian
kit
car.
of an Australian car.
And it opens and closes,
That's right.
doesn't it?
No. The
No?
doors? No.
Just the boot comes off.
Yes.
The boot comes off.
Yes. There we go. And you can see how Jack's actually flocked it in white flock.
And he's done such a good job at the flocking.
Yep.
Have a look
It
at
gives
that.
a lot of texture. Real carpet look.
It's got the spare in there.
Yes.
And the parcel shelf as well.
Yep.
And into the carpet he's
Yep.
done as well. He's done the carpets in the car.
Yep. And
Really
look at the
cool.
Juco. The Juco's got the mirror
Juco's-
finish.
Absolutely. And this is the SMS pearl orange.
Hmm.
So done using SMS paints
Yes.
with a 2K clear.
Hmm.
It's got really nice dished wheels in the back. Fuel pump assembly at the rear, the drop tank,
And the chassis detail.
under chassis detail.
Yeah.
And it's a really good example of what you can do with a $69 model kit.
That's right. And
Like,
I thought
that's
I'd
out of
bring
the
these
box.
out, yeah, because we've actually got more stock.
We have.
We did. So stock had run out, and somehow some extra ones were found. So we've got this stock in Hearns, so available online as well, and
Yep.
also at the Hobbyman.
Go to the front one.
There
Yep.
we go.
So that is the standard one. This is the most extreme one.
Yes.
And there's
There's a Monaro.
a
The
Monaro
GTS.
and there's the slammed one
That's
with
right.
the turbos. It's got
Yes,
the
with
twin
the twin
turbo
turbo.
motor.
The LS.
LS6.
That's right.
Yep, very cool. Congratulations, Jack. Congratulations, Jeff, to guessing how much it weighed.
Yes.
Thanks for Travis for coming in. And I think we should
That was
wrap this
great,
show
wasn't
up. We're smashing into overtime.
Yeah. So we haven't had any more questions for Travis, but yeah, if you have any, just leave them.
We
Below.
will post a load of the links
Yes.
to the clubs and the racing.
Mhm.
Yeah, get amongst it. It's a big race coming up the third week in May.
That's it.
Big titles.
Mm.
I want to say that we'll definitely be there, but we'll definitely try and be there,
Absolutely.
won't we? We'll
Already
enter
thinking of it.
we'll enter the comicals. No,
Comments
we
can-
can
go
dial
everywhere.
our own.
That's it. They've been on
You
road,
got
they've been
to
off
peg
road.
them straight.
You gotta
It's
go
probably
drag
the
racing.
hardest thing to get consistent because
pretty
they
short
just
wheelbase,
flip over
aren't they?
backwards.
Oh, we're just lower
You know,
the,
we'll dump
with
it
the
down,
wheelie
put it
bar.
in the bump stops. Very cool. Put some sweetbreads.
That's
Off we
right.
go. Off we go.
Why not? We have to try.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thanks.
That was episode 152.
Mm,
Keep up to date on all our socials.
that's right.
Got videos coming out.
Mhm.
And we'll see you next week for a show.
That's it.
Thanks
Right.
for watching, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.